Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the new Chevy Suburban RST. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Steiner Chevy here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with this Suburban. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 5.3-liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 355 horsepower and then 383 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, the RST is a really cool package. So this one in white, I think, really shows some of the cool elements of it. So you can see here, the hood obviously just all body painted. And then once you pop down below, the lighting cluster is darker in coloration, and the new setup, really cool looking. But yeah, the grill's all blacked out. Same thing here at the bottom section. So you get this cool contrast with the black and the white. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275 by 50 by 22 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, you've got the silver with the blacked out trim, again, theme here with the RST. Suburban there on the side, you got the fixed side steps there. You've got all the blacked out window trim as well. And then if you take a few steps back, you can see the extra length that comes with the Suburban. And then this leads us to the key fob, where we have our lock and unlock function, remote start. We've got the opening for the hatch, you got the opening for the window, and we'll press that a couple times, that'll pop it open. Chevy bow tie there on the back. And then the Suburban itself, it is quite spacious. So you guys can see here with the seats, fold those down automatically. You can raise and lower the third row, also for the power outlet here in the back, which is nice. And this is why you get the Suburban. You get way more space than we have in the Tahoe, with the third row folded up. With the Tahoe, you don't really have a trunk with the third row folded up. And then you actually also have a little more storage space there as well. When you're all done, they do give you this nice little button there to lower the hatch back down. And look at these taillights. I like the new taillight design. It's futuristic looking. The sequential nature of it's also fun. And of course, you got the RST badge, aggressive exhaust tips as well. And there's the rest of the rear. Now popping inside, you can see here with the door panel, you've got the red stitching here down below as well. Really nice trim throughout. And then here are these seats. That theme continues with these seats. Now we're actually going to pull this, so just pull it twice, it'll put the seat forward. That'll allow us to access the third row. So you can see the seats are actually pretty cool looking here in the third row, just like the second row, and you've got good legroom in the third row. You can fit adults back there. That's why you get a Suburban, if you want to fit larger kids, you know, older kids or adults, depending on what you're using the vehicle for. And then this is all really easy to get back into place, so did that all with one hand. And then you can see the sliding function there. All I have to do is just step in here, and then again, one hand. I can do everything with one hand, which is nice. We've got pretty good legroom back here. You can see here with the little storage pocket. We've got some cup holders in the rear. We have our heated seats down below. Climate controls as well, which apparently doesn't want to focus on any of that. There you go. And then headroom, even though the sunroof does rob a little bit, it's not too bad. And then this leads us up front. So again, we've got the red stitching there at the top, down below as well. We've got all of our window controls, front to our automatic. You've got the mirrors, they do power fold in, memory seat functionality, blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then 1,555 pounds of payload, 8,000 pounds of towing. Pretty solid. There's the front seat, same kind of cool red stitching and everything. All of our adjustments on the side. And then we've got a bunch of controls here, so just quickly go over them. We've got our driveline select there. This does have a 2-speed transfer case, which is nice to have for towing and all of that. You know, reversing up driveways and everything. Anyways, light controls, we've got trailer brake controls, 360 camera function, turn that on, stability control, hill descent, parking sensors. That's for your parking assist. That is for your auto stop start, and then that's your lane departure to turn that off. And I've always found it interesting that Chevy puts so many controls on the left side of the driver. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around. We've got radio controls on the back of the steering wheel, and then paddle shifters there just above that you can actually visually see from the driver perspective. Then we got stuff like our cruise control. We also have heated steering wheel function here on the steering wheel, and this is all for the center. Go over that in a moment. And then turn signal windshield wiper stock. And this has a column shifter now, so that helps out with space. And then here is the gauge cluster, so fully digital. This is GM's new unit in a lot of their cars. It's a pretty cool system because kind of like Audi's virtual cockpit, you can just change what information it displays, which is nice. And then we have those drive modes we talked about earlier, which, oh, I forgot they actually pop up here on this screen. I forgot they weren't in the center like in the trucks. But yeah, you got that whole setup there, and I guess while we're here, 360 camera system with this. So good resolution. Pretty solid setup. Kind of reminds me of the Escalade system. And then yeah, the infotainment system, it controls a lot. Double tap. Why is it not? I think my finger might be too cold. Let me warm it up quickly. Yeah, there we go. If you don't know if your fingers, like the tips of your fingers are too cold, the screen won't pick them up at all. But yeah, easy to use. You've got heated seats with this, dual zone climate. It's a pretty good system overall, but there's not really any physical controls anymore. And then down below, we've got our climate controls, dual zone climate, wireless phone charging pad with some USBs. And we've got some cup holders here, a little bit of storage on the side. And then center console with some USBs. It's pretty deep, good storage. I like the trim here on the top. And then same thing all across the dash. And then, yeah, pretty good with the glove box. We've got the rear view mirror here, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof as well. And then when it comes to pricing, this sticker's for just under 80 grand with how this is equipped. Let's drive it. Well, Suburban visibility. Pretty good. It would be nice if it had one of those camera rear view mirrors, but because I just think if you had a vehicle full of people, it's always kind of hard to see past them. Then you have stuff in the back, but not a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker. And yes, I know everyone wants to see the Duramax. I have been informed that they are coming, but they're slow rolling with those. And isn't that always funny? Like, I found this very intriguing that manufacturers will release something that people really want, and then they'll, you know, like, so this vehicle is a great example. Everyone wants the new Duramax. Everyone wants the new Duramax. And what you see is the initial vehicles that are rolling out are all 5.3 V8s. And then if you go on the GMC side of things, you'll see some 6.2 V8s with the Yukons, but yeah, no diesels. Automakers always do this. Like Toyota, for example, when they released the new Tacoma, right? It's like, you know, SR5 and Tier D Sport and Limited were easy to get right off the bat. The two packages that everyone wanted, Tier D Pro and Tier D Off-Road, slowly, right, come on the market. So it's just interesting to me that automakers do that. It's like, you'd think that they'd want to get the version that everyone is looking for out first to just bring people in, but I don't know. This is still a nice, I mean, this is a nice setup, and it's not the same interior and everything as the diesel, just different power plant, right? And the 5.3 is not a bad engine. I feel like people give the 5.3 a lot of crap because it's technically the least premium powertrain that you can get in this, but it's still a strong engine, and it's, I mean, Chevy's had it for a long time at this point. And from my understanding, I've talked to some people about the lifter stuff. It sounds like they've done some stuff with this new, especially the new 6.2, to make it so that it's more reliable. I mean, time will tell on that, right? Time will always tell on things that concern reliability, but apparently that's something that has been worked on. This is a great engine. I mean, it's got that naturally aspirated V8 just oomph that excuse me, that you're just not going to get from a lot of other automakers nowadays, because people just don't do V8s, right? They're all doing 6-cylinder turbos, which are exciting in their own way. But for a, I don't know, a big SUV like this, it's almost nicer to have a V8, because it's annoying having to wait for turbos to spool up, right? It's nice to just have that instant torque push, and that's also why the diesel makes so much sense in this. But I guess that'll get us into the tail end of this review. I think that the new Suburban and Tahoe are cool. They have definitely gone, you know, the new Chevy tech thing that I've been reading the comments, and it seems like some of you like this. Some people not so much, right? They kind of like the more physical setup that you had prior. But I think that it's something that you just have to get used to. But I will say that I'm glad that they didn't put, and this might seem stupid, but like, I'm glad they didn't put the light controls in the infotainment system. I think that maybe they were going to, maybe, who knows, but they probably saw the feedback on the Colorado and on some of the EVs where people are like, please, right? Again, it's something you can get used to, but it's like, why? Like, why put something that like that in the infotainment system? That's one of the biggest criticisms of modern cars, right? Is that you have to go buried through the screen to just do stuff that should just be a simple click of a button. But yeah, then that's nice. And this RST package is cool. I'm interested to see if they do another like RST performance like they did, where they make it a little bit more aggressive. I mean, they probably will. Well, it's a little bit more aggressive, but we'll just have to kind of see as these come in. And I guess before we get one more acceleration, let me know what other packages you want to see. I know that everyone's going to see Z71. They haven't. That's another great example. Z71. Everyone wants the vehicle that everyone wants is a Tahoe Suburban Z71 with the diesel. That's what everyone wants to see, and they're slow rolling them. Like, why? It's like, come on, just get them out into the world. The people want them. So, anyways, here's kind of one more. Yeah, solid power. So let me know what you guys think about the new Suburban with the RST package.